As we head into NFL Week 14, we have to talk about these power rankings, and it's important to really focus on the playoff picture for both conferences respectively. In the AFC and NFC, there's a lot of chaos going on. You look at the NFC, the Bears have the #1 seed with a 9-3 record, and then you look at the 7th seed in the NFC with the 49ers, they have a 9-4 record. So there's not a lot of difference in terms of the win-loss perspective from all of these teams, even teams outside the hunt with the Lions, the Cowboys, the Panthers. There's a lot of high stakes for these final 5 games for all those teams to try to make into the playoffs, whether they're currently in the playoff picture or currently in the hunt. Same thing in the AFC. The Patriots going into their Week 14 bye, they have an 11-2 record. Right below them, you have the Broncos. Jaguars, teams of that nature as well. And then outside of the playoff picture, in the AFC, we all know the Chiefs are there right now currently, but a team that I think is going to ultimately be back in the playoff picture and arguably win their division is the Houston Texans, as they have a 7-5 record. They play against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football in Week 14. That's going to be a high stakes level game for both of those squads to really show who's ultimately going to make the playoffs, because if the Chiefs lose that game, they'll be 6-7 and their playoff hopes will ultimately almost be in the can at that point, because even if you win 10 games right now, that's not going to guarantee you to make the playoffs in the AFC or the NFC. So there's a lot on the line for all these teams in the NFC and the AFC. We've seen some surprising upsets like the Rams losing to the Panthers in Week 13. A team in the AFC like the Colts, as they just lost against the Houston Texans Week 13 at home. I wouldn't be surprised at all, even after the start that they had, if they end up missing the playoffs, because currently right now in the AFC South, the Jaguars lead that division, and the Jaguars play against the Colts in Jacksonville on Sunday in Week 14, and the Colts haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014. So take that stat where you may, but just a lot on the line for all of these franchises right now. And on YouTube, go check out my full NFL power rankings heading into Week 14. I'm gonna really talk about mostly the playoff teams, because that's what matters most at this point. If your team is a bottom feeder and trying to tank to get a high draft pick, many blessings and God bless you, but we're not really focusing on them right now. We're talking about the teams that have a legit shot to really make it into the dance. And right now, since there's not necessarily any dominant teams, I know that the Patriots have an 11-2 record, the Broncos have a 10-2 record, Bears are 9-3, Rams are 9-3 as well. But in terms of being a team that's a bona fide juggernaut, we don't have that right now in the NFL. And if your team gets into the playoffs, whether it's in the NFC or AFC, you can make the argument they have a chance to potentially win it all, because all you have to do is get hot and play complimentary football and you have a great shot to win. So with that being said, make sure that you check out my full power rankings video getting into NFL Week 14 on YouTube at AJ Russ. Subscribe and turn on post notifications. On there, follow me on Instagram at Swaggy Russ and TikTok at Swaggy Russ 2. Know that Jesus loves you. I love you guys. Y'all keep being blessed and being legendary. Swag.